like, well, like that movement in Jion when you're at this Anjanuki and you're going to here. I basically see like a cable pulling, like right about there, and it's basically I put my intention like in that cable, and then my form just sort of collapses on that line. Like my form is just kind of like it's like being pulled, sort of from underneath along the cohesion of that line. Are you following that train of thought? So it's not like a mechanical athletic movement. It's a body accommodating an intention. That feeling. That feeling. Quintessential movement for me was in Heian Yondan, when you land in this kosadachi and you do this uraken. I always struggled with that when I was like 15 in a brown belt or whatever, because I just like, wow, it seems like such an unnatural movement. First of all, I'm in a stance that has this little itty-bitty base area, and basically, you know, this shaded region defines the stability factor of my stance, you know, as opposed to a stance that has this big base area, much more stable stance. So why I'm making this itty-bitty base area stance, and I'm doing this little movement of my arm, just didn't feel really strong. But then, maybe a few years later, well, probably more than that, 10 or 15 years later, I started getting this feeling of like pulling these cables. And so, no, I was going to break this idea was a little bit different. Instead of me stepping in and making this thing here, basically out there was a cable being pulled, and my body was sort of wrapping itself on the cable. It's like my body was contorting itself onto the cable, and it was being pulled from below. So then the strike had that kind of a feel, as opposed to this feel. You follow what I'm saying? And that dynamism of my step, you know, when I made the front kick, and made the front kick, and then I stepped, that was the cable pulling. But so the dynamism of the step was really the cable being pulled, not the muscular, not me manifesting. You see? So that is a little more intention-based guidance of your movement. Okay? So that's maybe something to consider a little bit. Feeling like when I make the danbarai, and then release, you know, or sotoke, like so then that ability to just stretch those cables right on those axes, right on the line that supports the movement. And one way to kind of feel it a little bit is, can you make the danbarai once? Just make it down one. Is you have your partner kind of just press in the opposite direction. Again, like getting a little biofeedback. And as I'm pushing this way, he's going to push the other way, and he's going to drop his shoulders. Drop your shoulder nice and low. Expand your chest. Press into my hand with your fullness of your body. Yeah, not with a lean. Not with a lean. It's more with like, again, imagine you're in a big bubble, and you're basically stretching against the bubble. Stretching against the bubble. And now my ruler is being bent. You see, because you're creating this hypertension, like this tautness that wasn't there when I was here like that. And I'm not just going like this and making that. It's like I'm creating this shape, and then I'm stretching into that shape. Stretching into that shape. And you can feel that a little bit if you get some biofeedback, like your partner pushes. Now, hopefully, and again, you can test him. If you do this and he falls, then you're leaning. So it's really just this stretchy expansion. So that forward stance should feel quite a bit different from, say, sotoke, this forward stance. Yeah. This one, I'm connecting to my core. Connect. Press out against the bubble. Connect. Push through to the back leg. Connect. Pushing back and up simultaneously. That feeling. It's definitely not just this. You see what I'm saying? Let's get a partner and get a little bit of that biofeedback. Every technique should feel press, and then it's the recoil off that drives the next technique. Compress. So you don't get this 1, 2, 3, but you get like that kind of whipping energetic. Okay? Yeah, give it a try with your partner.